my calculations are correct,
when I connect this battery,
you're gonna see some serious shit.
so y'all can turn tight. But can you turn this tight? Okay, so I showed off the four-wheel steering. Now here I'm going to show off the dig a bit. You may have seen this climb because it's one of my favorite, but right here I'm going to hook these front wheels, and then I'm going to lock the rear and let the front drag the rear into place. If you don't do that, the rear tires want to loop it out. So once I was able to drag the tires to where they had some pressure on them and we're going to grab, I was able to unlock the rear, and you can see it pulls right on up. This type of climb is really what makes the dig super useful. It's not always useful, but it honestly helps me more than the four-wheel steering, in my opinion. Four-wheel steering is nice when you need it to turn sharp, sometimes crab crawl up something, but a lot of times in a climb, it'll get you in trouble. The dig is never really going to get you in trouble. So let's check this thing out. All right, so let's do a quick look at this thing. Right now I'm just running the stock servo in the rear. I did glue the servo saver. It makes a world of difference for this thing to turn these mudslingers. It actually don't do half bad. Probably just use it until it dies, unless I replace this front eventually. I'm running the Emax up front. It does okay with the slingers. It's not amazing. Just a little better than stock. Possibly going to put the reefs on there. The reefs is just super deep, so I don't know. We'll see how it fits. But everybody always asks me about these tube chassis, how I like it, that sort of thing. The only thing I don't really like is how the shock sits. I hate the shock mounting. There's just not enough mounting positions for me. I like to move my stuff all around and see what works for me. There's just not enough spaces for them. So that kind of bugs me, but I like how it's simple. This is my other rig that's similar, has four-wheel steering and everything. You can see I've got one of the Love's bodies on it, or Walmart bodies, very similar. There's just a lot more body there to deal with and weight. So this thing has way better flex right now just because of the way I'm able to move the shocks around. I just can't get what I want out of this yet, but I haven't played with it that much, honestly. I did get the four-wheel steering on now, though, so the way I set that up is I put it on this knob. I don't like the selecting back and forth, you know, on a switch. I could have put it on one of these switches where it would have went rear steer, front, 4-wheel steer, crab walk, all that, but you're always flipping back and forth. I like being able to drive like this and use my thumb right here to sort of work the rear as I need it. That way I'm not locked into crab crawl, I'm not locked into 4-wheel steering, I'm not, you know, and I'm not bouncing around back and forth all the time. It's on the fly, really, so I can do what I want with it. And then I have my dig on this switch. It's all the way down, it locks the rear. And then midway locks the front. And then all the way up's normal, of course, so. Everybody kind of always asks about the slow crawl of this thing. And it's not bad, really. It's no Holmes revolver, but it's not meant to be anywhere comparable to that. This has the Holmes revolver with the Castle Micro Sidewinder ESC. Definitely the smoothest throttle possible for these things. But anyways, more on this thing. I didn't like when I got this, it's supposed to flip a deadbolt. Basically, you take the rear links, put them in the front, switch it. I didn't like how short the rear end was when I did that, so I put a long drive shaft in the rear and made these links and then used long links for the rear. That way it's kind of super stretched. It's actually a tad bit longer than this one, and this rig's long. So here's my Yoda, which is more of a stock deadbolt length. You can see how much longer that wheelbase is. Center to center there. So centered in the rear, it's that much longer in the front. Love this Yoda. I got to get to running it a little more. But yep. So far, only thing I have, I tried to keep the weight down on this. I have the Trill brass C-hubs or whatever steering hubs in the front. And then I just had these brass ones already on this axle in the rear. I am running the hot racing links on front and back. I try to run those on everything because the stock ones were garbage. And the Charisma oil-filled shocks. These are leaking on me pretty good. And I need to fix this front. It's binding on me because of the way they're having to mount at an angle. So I really need to fix that, but they work. I like the long length of them, so they're working pretty good. If you have any questions on this rig, I have a how-to on how I did the dig. I'm not going to go into that on this video. It's just kind of a quick overlook. Showing off the 4-wheel steering now. The goat just got better. If you have any questions, yeah, I know my tires are backwards back here. I ain't worried about it. Anyways, I appreciate everybody watching. Hit me up if you have any questions. Peace.